Imagine this. You're watching the news, maybe late at night, catching up on some big speech by a world leader. The camera zooms in close.
Yeah.
And just for a second, their eyes seem to glitch, flicker. It looks weirdly off.
Yeah.
Is it just bad lighting? A camera issue? Or, as some people believe, something much stranger? Like, what if the folks in charge aren't quite human?
And that's where we're heading tonight. We're doing a deep dive into, well, the reptilian conspiracy. It's this absolutely wild mix of really ancient mythology and, modern internet meme culture.
Right.
Our mission, basically, is to figure out what's going on here. Is there a secret group of shape-shifting lizard people running the show, or is this just paranoia gone viral in a really spectacular way?
Exactly. We want to unpack where it came from, look at the so-called evidence you see online, and try to understand the psychology behind why people actually believe this stuff. It's a pretty enduring mystery. Okay, so to really get this, we kind of need to go back to the start. Well, the modern start, anyway. This whole reptilian thing didn't just appear from nowhere.
No, it really took shape in the early 90s, and the key figure there was David Icke.
Ah, Icke, the former BBC sports guy, right?
That's the one. He had this spiritual awakening, he said, and started making these incredible claims that the world secretly run by, well, shape-shifting reptilian aliens.
It sounds unbelievable just saying it.
It really does. And what's amazing is how big his claims were, not just, generic aliens visiting. He described these ancient interdimensional beings, beings who've apparently been messing with human history for ages, like causing the fall of Rome and, weirdly, the rise of reality TV.
Reality TV?
Yeah, really.
Sorry.
That was part of his narrative. I mean, his ideas were so far out there that even the British tabloids, which love sensational stuff, didn't quite know what to do with him at first.
But the idea didn't just vanish, did it? It found a foothold somewhere.
It really did. Late night radio, particularly shows like Coast to Coast AM, gave him a huge platform. That's how the idea started to, well, slither into the public imagination, you could say.
That makes sense. Those shows reach a certain audience.
But if you look deeper, this isn't totally new. The modern conspiracy theory taps into something much older.
You mean like ancient myths?
Exactly. Serpent gods, lizard-like beings. They pop up in cultures all over the world. You've got the ancient Sumerians and the Anunnaki, sometimes depicted as sort of snake-like.
Okay.
Or the Mayans and Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent. Big deal for them. And in Hindu mythology, you have the Nagas, these divine serpent beings.
Right, so Icke kind of repurposed these old stories.
Pretty much. He took these ancient archetypes and gave them this very modern conspiratorial flavor. Aliens pulling the strings from another dimension.
And then the internet happened.
Bingo! That was the perfect storm. You had the ancient myths, this modern paranoia Icke was tapping into, and then boom, the internet. Suddenly, anyone could share their own theories, their own sightings.
Yeah, I could see how that would accelerate things.
The idea just mutated, it spread everywhere. It wasn't just Icke's anymore.
So it became kind of a crowdsourced conspiracy.
Totally. Online forums, chat rooms, later social media, they became breeding grounds. Every meme, every blurry video clip, every list of suspected reptilians added to it changed it. It took on a life of its own.
So the question for you listening is, how does a theory that seems so fringe actually become this global thing? Is it just that we love a good monster story?
Or maybe it's easier to blame secret lizards when the world feels completely out of control. It's something to think about.
Definitely. Okay, so let's talk about the evidence, because if you go looking online, you will find stuff. YouTube, TikTok, they're full of compilations claiming to show proof.
Oh, yeah. And the absolute classic, the cornerstone of the evidence, is the eye flicker.
Right. Describe that for us.
Well, you'll see a video, usually a politician giving a speech or an interview, often under bright lights. And for just a split second, their eyes seem to flash weirdly. Maybe the pupil looks vertical or the color changes. It looks inhuman.
And people jump on that.
Instantly. They slow it down, zoom way in, analyze every pixel. It becomes proof.
It's amazing how convincing a blurry frame can seem, though. I mean, I've seen some, and even knowing the explanations, you get that flicker of, whoa, how do you stay objective looking at that?
It's tough, because what we see technically is usually just, well, a trick of the light or a video compression artifact. When the digital video gets squashed, weird things happen, or just a camera glitch. But for someone who already believes, that glitch is the proof. It's the masks slipping, a glimpse behind the curtain.
And then you have a list.
The lists, yes. These endless lists of celebrities, politicians, powerful people who are supposedly reptilians. Basically, if you're famous and maybe blinked funny once, you might be on a list somewhere.
So it's more about pattern seeking than actual evidence.
Absolutely. Humans are wired to find patterns, to find meaning. We see a weird expression, an odd camera angle, a shadow, and our brain wants to connect the dots, even if there are no real dots to connect. It confirms the suspicion.
So the question becomes, are you really seeing something, or are you just seeing what you expect to see?
Precisely. Which leads us to the bigger question, why? Why do people believe this stuff? Let's step back from the lizards for a second and look at the psychology. Because it's not really about lizards, is it? It's about us.
So what are the psychological hooks here? Why is a narrative like this so appealing to some people?
Well, a big one is distrust. A deep-seated distrust of authority, of institutions, of the government, the media, you name it.
Okay.
When the world feels chaotic or things happen that don't make sense, conspiracy theories offer. Well, they offer a kind of order, a secret explanation. It might be a scary explanation, but at least it is an explanation.
And there's maybe a comfort in feeling like you're in on the secret.
Huge comfort. It can feel empowering, like you've got the hidden knowledge, the truth that everyone else is missing. You see behind the curtain.
And those online communities we mentioned earlier must play a massive role. The echo chambers.
Oh, absolutely crucial. Forums, Facebook groups, Reddit threads, they reinforce the belief. You find other people who think the same way, share the same evidence, it validates everything.
And the memes.
The memes. They're like the DNA of modern myths, seriously. They mutate, they replicate, they spread instantly across the globe. Sometimes the joke itself becomes the belief or blurs the line.
Yeah, I can see that.
And ultimately, maybe it's about the appeal of a grand narrative, you know? In a world that feels so complex and overwhelming, the idea that there's one hidden group, one hidden hand, even a scaly one pulling the strings, that can actually be weirdly comforting. It imposes a structure.
Or, like we said, maybe it's just really entertaining.
Which brings us neatly to pop culture, because this theory isn't just hiding in dark corners of the web anymore. It's kind of mainstream now, in a weird way.
Totally. It's on TikTok. It pops up on Reddit all the time. Late night hosts joke about it. It's gone from this fringe belief to, like, a running gag, a cultural reference point.
Yeah, everyone sort of knows what you mean.
Okay, let's do a quick meme review. My favorite type has to be the shape-shifting fail videos.
Oh, yeah, classic.
You know, where they catch a politician mid-blink or making a weird face and the caption's like, human suit glitching again, or powering down for maintenance.
Or the ones where someone's wearing like a green face mask for skincare and the caption is, caught one trying to recharge, or someone sticks their tongue out and it's lizard tongue confirmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The internet just runs with it.
It absolutely does. The humor is undeniable.
But it is funny, you know, how blurry that line gets between people just having a laugh and people who might actually kind of believe it a little bit.
That's the strange thing about memes, isn't it? They can normalize really bizarre ideas, make them feel familiar, almost mundane. And even if you're laughing, there's often that tiny little seed planted, that what if.
Yeah, that lingering what if. But, okay, shifting gears a bit, it's not all just jokes and memes. This stuff, the reptilian theory and others like it, can have actual real-world effects, right?
Absolutely. And that's the serious side we need to touch on. It definitely contributes to eroding trust. Trust in government, trust in media, trust in science, trust in institutions generally.
Which can fuel anti-government feelings.
For sure. And sometimes it gets more personal. Public figures get accused online, harassed, targeted based on absolutely nothing, just because someone decided they looked reptilian in a photo.
So even a wild story can cause real harm.
It's a really important reminder. Beliefs have consequences. Even fantastical beliefs can cast a very real and sometimes very dark shadow when people act on them.
It makes you think, while we're chuckling at the memes, what's the actual cost of believing in these kinds of monsters?
Right.
Whether they're real or not.
Okay, let's lighten the mood again, though. We actually asked for some listener stories and got a couple of fun ones showing how this filters into everyday life.
Yeah, this one's from Jess in Portland. She says, I genuinely went down a YouTube rabbit hole and became convinced my boss was a lizard person. Why? Because he never seemed to blink in our long, boring meetings. Seriously, never.
Okay, so what happened?
Turns out, she writes, he just wears really good extended wear contact lenses and barely needs to blink. Oops.
Haha. Okay, that's pretty good. Contacts, not conspiracy.
Exactly. And here's one from Mike in Toronto. My grandma was absolutely certain the Queen was reptilian.
The Queen. Okay, why?
Because, Mike says, she nearly always wore green outfits. I tried explaining royal fashion protocols, color theory.
Yeah.
Nope. To Grandma, green meant lizard.
Bless her heart. Green suits reptilian. The logic is direct.
It is. Okay, now the big question for you. Have you personally ever witnessed a lizard person? Full disclosure time.
Only maybe in the mirror, first thing in the morning. Before coffee, there's a definite shadowy, perhaps slightly scaly glimpse.
So coffee's the key to maintaining the human disguise. We've cracked it.
It seems to be the essential component, yes. Keeps the glitches at bay.
Good to know. The truth always comes out. All right, so wrapping this up, what's the verdict from our deep dive? All this evidence we talked about, the eye flickers, the list, the weird photos.
It really boils down to a mix of things, doesn't it? Coincidences, definitely. Digital glitches, absolutely. And a whole lot of very creative, sometimes very funny storytelling. But actual verifiable proof. It's just not there.
Not really, no.
But the story persists. And maybe that's because, well, we kind of like mystery, don't we? We want to believe there's more going on than just the everyday stuff we see, even if that more is, well, lizards.
Yeah, that makes sense. So in the end, maybe the reptilian conspiracy tells us way more about ourselves, our fears, how we think about power, our need to make sense of a really complicated world than it does about any actual secret lizard cabal.
I think that's spot on. It's a mirror, in a way. And maybe, just maybe, it's also about the simple fun of a really wild, imaginative story. A good old-fashioned mystery.
So here's a final thought for you to chew on. Sometimes the real monsters aren't hiding in the shadows. They're the stories we tell ourselves.
Or, maybe it is just your neighbor who's found an amazing new skincare routine, possibly involving algae.
Could be. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. It's been illuminating.
Absolutely. Until next time, keep asking questions, keep laughing when it's funny, and yeah, keep looking beneath the surface. You never know what you'll find.